Wednesday, August 16th, and we're getting ready to activate mean mode. But I have a few little things left to do before we get there. One, you have to bring iPad tomorrow and Friday. There's a thing we're going to be doing that needs iPad. If you don't have iPad, it's fine. It just means that your life is going to be a little more stressful. Those of you who bring iPad, your life will be a little bit less stressful. And on my tie is my kids. Still creepy children, just different creepy children. So these are just ones my wife gives me, sorry, hiccup, a tie like for my birthday and Christmas with pictures of my children on there. We already did this with you, home children. We'll do the whole picture thing when you come back alive. All right. This, I believe we got through all of this with you. Can we get down to my clipboard?
Yes.
And I got to show you the clipboard and stuff there. Nicely done, making sure. So again, clipboard, and this even got to be used today already.
Really?
Let's say you guys are a little spazzy when you come back from lunch. I'm not a yelly person. There is a good chance you will never hear me raise my voice the entire year. I have raised my voice 4 times in the last 20 years. 2 of them last year, both of them with Juju. And now, as you see, Juju comes back to visit me every day because he's a special, special boy. But for you guys, if you make poor choices, what you'll see me do is just take pen, click, and I'll just hold it and just look around the room and smile. And you'll see me going like this. And that's just me charging you points. Because eventually, you lose enough points for the good stuff to happen. So that covers all of the stuff from there. Did we talk about good kid things?
No.
Okay. So again, if you look on purple sheet, it's going to be on there. So you can also gain points. It is just tougher to gain points. Much like in real life, it is easier to spend money than it is to gain money. It's the same way with B points. They're easier to spend, be an idiot, than they are to gain, be a good kid. But there are a number of ways it can happen. One, I push recycling. It's a big part about making the world a better place. It's like caring about kids or their future or something like that. So to help encourage that, if you bring in smashed metal cans, like what you drink soda out of or those Monsters in the morning, every 10 of those gets you 1 B point. So if you were to bring in 100 of them, how many points would you get?
10.
Good math skills. I do the same thing for plastic bottles. So if you have water bottles or plastic bottles, you have to smash them. Do not bring me big inflated ones. You're going to have to take the cap off, put it on the ground, pretend it's my head, and just sit there and smash it until it's nice and flat. Every 10 of those you bring in, I will also give you a B point. And so you bring in 10, I put in my little recycling thing, that gets you extra points, and you're good to go from there. I also do the copper that isn't just anywhere on my calendar. See the little calendar thing in front of you there? There, that's good for me. So also the same thing for the copper that is in wires that plug into the wall, like the thing that goes from your TV into the wall or from your PlayStation into the wall. That wire has copper in it that we can recycle. If you bring those wires in, we can pull the copper out and then we can recycle, and I give you points for that. And you can get anywhere from like 1 to 5 depending on how big of a wire it is you bring in. The bigger and thicker the wire, the more copper, the more points you're going to get. Do not go around your house tonight just finding appliances and going, joink, 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 and just ripping them out of the walls, because the big people are probably going to get grumpy when they go to turn on the TV and nothing happens, and you're like, 3 B points, and you go running away, and they're like, my $200 TV! That's probably not the conversion rate you want to go with. But if they're throwing a thing out, then you can just take scissors and go, joink, like, make sure it's unplugged, and then you can take your scissors and go, ka-chunk. If it's not unplugged, you get a surprise. So maybe permanent. Random things I come up with. So as an example, I need Kleenex boxes right now. If you bring me a Kleenex box that has your name written on it, you get 3 B points. You're limited to 1 Kleenex box, but you can bring it in, you give it to me, I will give you B points for it. Some of you gave me Kleenex boxes for free because I just found them on my desk with no name. Thank you! You gave me a free gift. You're the bestest. If you want to get points for it, put your name on it, bring it in, and then I will give you points for that. And that'll probably go through next week, and then I'll be full on Kleenex boxes, and you'll be out of luck from there. This is the big one for you. Every week, you are not a turd, I pay you B points. The longer you go without being a turd, the more B points I give you. So if you can make it to the end of this week without losing any B points for choices, then at the end of this week, you gain 1 free point. How many points do you have right now?
15.
15. So that means you're going to go up to?
16.
Good job. The next week, if you go 2 weeks in a row, you don't gain 1 point.
You gain 2.
You gain 2 points. So you go from 16 up to?
18.
The next week, you don't gain 2, you gain 3. So you go from 18, so on. The max you can get is 5 B points. If you get to where you're going over a month and not getting in trouble, every week you get 5 free B points. And it just keeps racking up from there. And as soon as you spend a point, it completely resets you back to 0. So that's where it gets a little bit tougher when you've gone a long way making good choices. I will also be picking Students of the Week, which on next week I'll be taking pictures of you. That wall behind Piper will be filled with pictures of good kids, and it's going to get you 5 B points. Mrs. Melling, Mrs. Butts, and I get together once a month. And we pick a dude and a chick as Student of the Month, and you get 10 B points for that one. Elliot, what's up?
Can I take a picture?
Yeah, I have no problem taking pictures up there. Excuse me. But again, it's on the purple sheet in front of you. So these are the main ways to gain points. There is one more way to gain points that many of you are going to do, but it is painful. But for some of you, painful is what you need. Here's the painful method. This is the emergency way to get B points, because we're going to find out in a moment. When you start losing points, if you go down into single digits, I get to start being mean to you. If you go down to 5 B points, I get to start crushing you. If you go below 5 B points, and so there are emergency ways to save your tuchus. One is a thing called a Simpson sheet. It's from the TV show The Simpsons, Homer and Bart. At the very beginning of the show, Bart's like writing a phrase on a chalkboard. I just stole that same thing, and there's a phrase you're going to write 50 times. That is open to anybody at any time, regardless of how many points you have. If you're at 5 B points, you can do it. If you're at 500 B points, you can do it. It is open to anybody who wants to do that, and I'll show you how it works in a second. The other one is a detention. That is only open to you if you are in single digits. So if you are at 9 or lower, you can choose a detention. Detention is during lunch. You write an essay, you do a Simpson sheet, and you have to notify your parents and bring in a little signed piece of paper. But it does get you 15 B points, so that is completely up to you. I don't have many kids who choose a detention, but some do. Simpson sheet looks like this. I print them off, and you can also get them from Canvas if you want to print your own. And it's just going to be a big, long sheet that goes down, and it's going to have 100 lines on it. Every 50 lines gets you 5 points. So if you do all 100 lines, that's 10 points. And so that is up to you. This is what it actually looks like when a kid has done it. And so you'll just fill out the whole thing. That got her 10 B points. 5 for that side, 5 for that side. When you turn it in, I stripe it so I know it's been turned in, and you get full credit for it. Enhance. There's like zoomed in so you get a better chance to see it. You can take one of these from me whenever you want. The drawback is, if you take one from me, it becomes homework due the next day. If you don't turn it in the next day, then I get to treat it like you didn't do homework, and I get to be mean to you. You can also go on Canvas, and there's a button that says like Mr. Brovicast files, and you can just print your own if you want. And you can print as many as you want, and that's fine with me. Hey, what's up, Daryl?
Okay, now I have 2.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so first one is there a specific phrase you're supposed to write, or do we just do what we want?
It's literally written at the top.
Okay.
There's these magic things called directions. I should teach kids to follow those. Hi, Daryl, what's up?
I got another one.
Yeah.
So if we print one out, do we have to tell you that we printed it out?
I have no idea that you printed it. That's just your own little
We
secret.
just bring it in and we get the points?
Simple as that.
Okay, alright.
So, the next area. This spot over here is called Struggle Town. Struggle Town. So, it is these set of desks over here. Struggle Town are for kids who struggle, and I have to remove you from normal society. Whenever your B points get low enough, or if you become an annoying enough kid, you lose the right to sit over there, and you have to come sit over here near me. You have to sit and stare at the wall of the giant face of me, or the other giant face of me, and that's what you get to sit there and stare at while you're over here. If you ever go down to 5 B points, you automatically get moved to Struggle Town, because you're struggling. Can you keep losing points there? Absolutely. Can you get to 0 points? Absolutely. If you get to 0 points, it's an automatic detention. If you ever go below 0, which happens rarely, but can happen if you just really embrace being a turd, then you don't sit in Struggle Town anymore. You have to stand in the hallway, and I draw a circle on the carpet, and you have to watch my class through a crack in the door, because you no longer get to be in my room, because choices have come back to haunt you. Allow me to give you a little Brovicast of how Struggle Town works. This is your teacher, who is happy in educating children and making them better people. This is Struggle Town that he points out about kids and they make poor choices there. These are 2 kids who are in Struggle Town right now because of their choices, and their choices make them sad. So they begin to cry, and they cry so much it makes a giant pool of tears. And a giant pool of tears brings the teacher happiness. So he goes over and starts to dance on the tears, because that brings him joy, because they struggle. Because you should not be in Struggle Town unless you are a child that has some issues. And that's how Struggle Town works. Also, I have a kid years ago, way back in 2009, who beat the system. One kid found a loophole in how my system works. So I had to change the system. And I named it after him. Adam Hochstetler, who has already graduated and gone through college. He's out in the real world. Adam Hochstetler, his parents helped work for like a recycling plant. And each week, he would bring in a giant bag of smashed cans, like 200 cans every Monday. He would just walk in and just go, boom, and throw down his giant bag of cans. And he was like, 20 B points, please. And I was like, all right, and I'd give him his 20 B points. And since he gained his B points, he would then use the week to be a gigantic turd in class. And he would just walk around smacking kids and pushing things off of there and talking while I was and not doing homework. And every time I charged him points, he was like, bring it on! And as soon as he got down to 5, the next day he would come in and go, boom! 20 B points, please. And he would keep going back up every time. And he would go through 40 to 50 B points a week being a gigantic turd. It impressed me. So at the end of the year, I changed my rules because of him. And I created what's called the Hochstetler rule, which says, if you ever lose 15 B points in a week, you get an automatic detention to prevent anyone from ever abusing the system like that kid did. One kid got away with it 14 years ago, and that was it. So if you ever get close, if you lose 15 B points, you get an automatic detention. The only way you lose 15 B points is by you embracing your turdism. And you're like, oh, I'm a turd! And you just love it. In that case, we have issues. If you ever lose 10 B points in a week, I move you to Struggle Town, because that means you're getting close to having bad things happen to you. If you ever hit exactly 15, you get the automatic detention. That includes buying pens and pencils or not doing homework, whatever it might be. If 15 B points disappear in a week, you get the automatic detention. So hopefully it has not become an issue. Anyway, just figured I'd let you know. Now, let's talk about good kid things. So again, on the purple sheet, this is on the right-hand side. I reward you for being a good kid. As you lose points and it goes down, then I get to sort of lock everything down. If you go to single digits, you're not in trouble yet. It just means I have to keep an eye on you because you're close to getting in trouble. But let's say some of you make good kid choices and your points go up. The more points you gain, the nicer I am to you. These are not how many points you spend. This is an automatic privilege you get when you have that many points. So if you can get up to 20 points, you get the right to sit on your desk during reading time and work time. Why? I don't know, but kids love sitting on desks. And you can just sit there and just go like, you just kick your little feet back and forth, and that seems to bring kids joy. If you get to 30 points, automatically, you get to bring a pillow to class every day if you want to. And you can just bring it, and you can put it on your chair, and you can go, and you can sink into your little pillow, and you can have all kinds of happiness. Or you can put it on top of your desk, and you can lay your little head down and watch me, and that's fine with me. Can we sleep? Absolutely. Will something happen to us? Absolutely. But if that's the joy you want to go with, more power to you. At 40 points, you can sit on the ground and lay on the ground during work time and stuff like that. Sometimes, if you're a good kid, you can even do it while I'm teaching if you don't bother other kids. And I have some kids like to bring in a pillow and they can just kick back and just learn laying on the ground. Sure, if you've got enough points to do that, and you can do it without irritating me, I reward you for being a good kid. This is the one most kids go for, which is why it's big. If you can get to 50 points, 5-0, then you get the right to choose your own seat in class. Because I don't move your seats. Where you are now is where you will be all the way until June, unless one of two things happens. One, you're a turd, and I have to move you, which is going to happen next week, because I already have a few of you. I'm going to be moving you to new seats because I've learned where you're sitting is not working. In that case, I get to move you to a new location. Or, option 2, you get to 50 points, you get to choose where you sit, and you can pick any other seat in class. Let's say Jake is tired of being this close to me. He's like, I'm too close to crazy man. And Jake gets up to 50 points. And instead, he wants to go and see who's bringing me a gift. It's a gift. A purple piece of paper is the bestest. Wait. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you. So when you get to 50 points, you can pick it. And that way Jake can go and take Lily's seat. And he can force Lily to sit up here, and then Jake can sit in the back of the room like, I'm away from crazy man. And then it becomes your permanent seat. And that is Jake's new seat until the end of the year, or he chooses a new spot. But if Lily doesn't want to lose her seat, Lily's like, I like being back here away from you crazy person. If Lily can get to 50 points, you block him. And Jake's like, I'm stealing your seat. And Lily goes, no, you're not. Because she has 50 points, and you stop them. Now they can't steal your seat. Until Jake gets to 100 points. And then he can steal your seat again. Until Lily gets to 100 points. Then she gets to block him again. And it becomes like a battle between kids trying to steal each other's seats. You stay there forever. Can we go sit next to our friends? Yeah, that's the point. Until you're an idiot. If you go sit next to your friend and you sit down like, what up? Ha, 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 and you start smacking them, well, then you got to sit there for 15 seconds. And then I get to move you back and charge you points. So that's the goal, is if you get to 50 and I can trust you, then you get to be a good kid and good things happen to you. Otherwise, you're going to be out of luck. So that becomes the main one that kids go for. There's other ones as you go up, but most kids don't get that. All of you have the chance of getting to 50. Any kid can get to that one throughout the course of the year. I would say half of you will probably get to 50 over the course of the year. We'll probably have 3 or 4 of you that get to 100, and maybe 1 to 2 of you who will get a little bit beyond that. If you want to know the most points, that's over here. I keep track of all of this stuff. This big whiteboard over here is for any of my 8th graders who finished the year with 100 B points or more. That's why it's called Century Club. Century has 100 in it. They get to write in this big area here. Any kid that finishes the year with 100 B points or more, you get your name permanently added to my wall. This is every kid going back to 2005 who has finished my class with 100 B points or more, including these are all the 8th graders down here. If you finish the year, you get your name added to the list and you become a permanent part of my wall. If you've had siblings come through and they were a good kid, good chance they're going to be up there. Over here is the list of all of the highest B points. The first highest was 431, then it got beat and got beat and got beat and got beat. Now the highest total is 1,671 I had a kid get to. Now, what's that me talking? You can see my mouth is going. It's okay. And so that becomes how you can tell the highest amount. No one's ever going to beat the 1,671 because the rules have changed since then, so it would be nearly impossible in order to do it. Over here is going to be how many lines kids have written on the Simpson sheets. Because I have kids say, what's the most someone's ever done? And so 1,350 was the limit for a long time, 1,350 lines. And then a girl ended up getting in so much trouble, she ended up doing almost 1,500 lines. And then a kid 2 years ago did over 2,000 lines, but not because he was in trouble. He was just doing it because he was trying to get the most B points. And he ended up getting like 430 B points from doing it. So that's that information over there for you. Elliot, what's up?
I was going to ask if I could take a picture.
Go for it, Elliot. Avery.
Why does he take pictures?
Everyone has a hobby. Santiago.
What if you hit like 400 B points? What type of abilities do you get in this class?
What kind of things do you get? I should give you a handout so I wouldn't have to make fun of you because it's literally right in front of you. Avery, what's up?
drawing class.
Can you what?
Drawing class.
Yeah.
by myself.
So as far as like doodling and drawing, as long as you can pay attention. Now, if I call on you and you're like, I have that, and you look, that has an issue. But I'm a doodler also, so I have no issues with doodling. As long as you can pay attention and doodle, more power to you. Hi, Daryl.
Can I request to be spared?
Eventually. All right. Was that the last minute request? Hi, Piper.
It's not a request.
Yeah. We are now done with the purple sheet. And, Elliot?
I was going to say I apologize for talking over.
It's okay, I forgive you. We're not mean mode yet. It's getting ready to be. Now!
Oh no. Uh-oh.
Mean mode has been activated. Now's the part where I get to start being mean to you. We are now to official class. Everything before this was practice class. Now we're to real class.
Uh-oh.
Now when you make choices, you're going to see me just pick up clipboard and begin to write. Tomorrow when I come in and there's directions up there, I'm not going to give you guys gentle reminders to follow directions. I'm just going to walk behind my desk, pick up my little note thing here, and I'm just going to start going like this. And just start charging you points. Now when you turn around to talk to the kid behind you and constantly be a distraction, I get to charge you points. Now when you talk over me, I get to start charging you points. Now, that also means tardies begin tomorrow. Both coming back from lunch and as you come into my classroom. All those good things are there. Now, when you choose to click a pen to irritate me, we get to find out what kind of fun things will happen to you. Because learning is the bestest. So, I'm not done yet, by the way, we still have more. Oh, we are done with purple sheet. You will no longer need to bring that to class or get it out or anything like that. I recommend not getting rid of it, because if you ever have questions as far as things in class go, I'm going to tell you, hey, get out that purple sheet from the beginning of the year. And if you get rid of it, then all I can do is laugh at you. And if you don't want that to happen, then don't get rid of it. Excuse me. Nah, we'll start with this tomorrow. I think we're far enough from there. Home children, make sure you have an iPad. We're going to get into setting up a notebook tomorrow because we got close to it. But mean mode has been activated and all the fun shall begin.